hello, hello,
What up, what
hello.
up, what up, what up, gang?
What's good, everybody? How are you all doing today?
We in the
We
building.
here, we here, we here. Today is Friday, like
Today,
we always say.
whoa, my,
Hey, I felt the spirit of church just hit me all in my shundo. I
come
tell you,
on. It's
I tell
Friday.
you, woo!
Well, y'all
I
know
am
what
so,
to do. Y'all come in, you like, you share, and subscribe. And make sure you speak when you come in. We do not own the rights to this music.
we do not own the rights to this music, so listen to this. Oh, this is some good jam right here. It's by
Uh,
Maurice Griffin. Love, peace, and love. Oh no, it's love, peace,
Happiness.
happiness. Check this out,
Yes,
Maurice Griffin.
sir. Hey, hey, hey. What up, G? What up, Anna? How's everybody doing today? Come on in, come on in. Hey, hey, hey.
This watermelon. It's my first time hearing this
Thank
song.
you, girl. Thank you. Come on, D. Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God, Joe. You be picking out some fire songs. I promise
Hey, come on, come on, come on in. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you add somebody. Come on, come on. Tag somebody. Let's go.
you. Hey,
Yes, sir. Come on in. Yes, sir. What y'all want? Y'all want some love, peace, happiness? Come on.
with my Carson Pearson over here. Not Carson Pearson. What's his name? Anyway, the Carsons. Doing my Carson. Hey.
Come on in, y'all.
That was Love, Peace, Happiness by Maurice Griffin. Listen, I am so glad today is Friday. I agree with Dedrick Butler. Thank God it is Friday. I promise you. Joe, I came home and completely passed out. I just stretched
Not
out and
passed
went to
down.
sleep.
No, he didn't, Lord.
Yeah, passed out. Passed out. I like, yeah, it was some good sleep.
It was some
It was
good
needed.
sleep.
Yes,
Well, we
real
glad
good
you had
sleep.
some good sleep, y'all.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Hey, we're about to get started. I am excited. This is one of my favorite subjects. Anybody know me that I talk about education, religion, politics. I like to dig deep into that. I like to dig deep into, I even like psychology. I like to know what people thinking in their minds and things like that. And we have a wonderful guest on tonight, and the conversation is definitely going to be lit. So just hold tight as we watch this mini commercial, and we will be back with you shortly. Hey, hey, hey! How y'all doing?
Hey,
Y'all, we about to get started. Y'all missed y'all. Y'all miss me.
Yeah, did. You already know. I told you, you are my energy. You are the gas in my car. I promise you. I'm like, when you're not around, I have to figure out, like, okay, what am I do? What am I gonna do? Because
What I
I'm the
gonna do?
serious, she's the clown. So those it just works well,
Just
and she
like
ain't here. So, but hey, good that you back here. How are you
we
doing?
back, we back, and I'm so
Yes.
excited that I'm back at a perfect time because this woman been turning me up in the back corner, baby. She been giving it to me. Come on. So I know
Man,
she blessing me in the background. She gonna bless y'all in the public.
definitely. So I tell people, our best conversations is behind the curtains. Man, we have
Yes,
some
sir.
good conversation. And
yeah.
mama, love you, love you, love you, love
Love
you, love
you
you. I had
too,
put
mom.
your comment on the screen. Love you. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you so much. My mama, she was talking to somebody. She don't know that I know this, but I'm saying on public. Man, when I tell you that this woman supports me, and she was talking to my family about this podcast and pushing it and things like that. And they said
hmm
something, not sideways, but they said something. I'm like, you know what time it come on? It come on at 7:30. Don't act like you don't know.
Stand out for the plane. You know what that amount.
You know what
Uh,
time it come. You know what that boy is on there. Don't act like you don't know. I appreciate that. Sister Joe, how
yeah.
are you doing? I'm sorry.
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Man,
We
this
glad to have
is
you.
definitely so, man. You know what? I wish we could have recorded our pre-conversations, what we were having earlier, because it was fire.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
we
fire.
always have good conversations, though.
We do. I was looking at your picture you sent me, and this is so off the subject. I was like, oh my God, I see Addison.
Really?
Yes, I like. I would like to see your pictures when you was growing up.
I'm
Just
gonna have to
one.
show you some. I had a big head down there, so I always had a big forehead. So I tell them I had a big brain.
Yeah.
I
We
tell
need
people,
them.
Sister
We
Joe
need
is she was my assistant for a while, and she's one of the volunteers for J Squad. For you all that don't know, that's the youth ministries for New Abundant Life.
Say
And
what?
I love her, and we've been at meetings, and I come with these grand ideas, and she just bring me down so nicely. So that
Baby, you're
Darnell,
not supposed to tell that.
I love it. I promise. My
He
sister
need
can
to
tell
come
you.
down. He need to come down.
I like direct people, man. I love it. I might get offended a little bit, but I'm like, I like people who keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
like, she'll tell me, like, okay, we're going to pull this off, but we got to figure out how to strategize this. And
yeah.
you need people in your life that can strategize things. Because, man, we get happy about a whole lot of stuff. Like, we can do this, do
First of
that.
all, when you a dreamer, sometimes your dreams far exceed your budget.
Yeah,
And
mine
you have to
does.
Yeah, yeah. They Donnell won't light smoke camera with the
I
word
do.
in the middle of
I
it.
do. I really do. I want all of that. I promise you.
Yeah.
If I could and I had the money, I will
I'm
pull
sure
it
you
off.
will one day, but this won't be the
Yeah.
day.
But it's good to have those dreams, though.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
that's what make things happen when you have the dreams. And like you say, it's good to have somebody that'll say slow your roll just a little bit.
Yeah.
But still you got that vision. We need visionaries. That's what we need.
Hmm.
So it's always good. So and God seems to always work it out to where you're gonna find somebody that's gonna help you with that, to where it
That's
all
true.
rounds out the way he wants it to be.
That's true.
So
Hmm.
That's
Love
true.
it.
So our theme for this month is called School Days. We dedicate the month of August to educators and education, and like I said it to Kiera last week. I say, the month of August is usually when this area we start school, things like that. And I know Humboldt started back in July, and all
We
that.
do.
That was something different, but
I didn't
um,
know
yeah, they did. They started, I think, the last week, last Friday.
yeah, the last of July.
Yeah, that was
that.
different. I'm like, I guess they getting their Asian on right now because they started early.
It has to do with the calendar, you know.
Okay,
They are famous for the strawberry festival, so they have to make those days up. So.
Gotcha. Because I was like,
gotcha.
we didn't start early, but again, all them years I was wishing I could go to the Strawberry Festival, and we couldn't
Hmm.
go because we had school.
Yeah, see, you have to for a school year, you have to have 180 days, so they have to make certain that they get those 180 days in. If they're going to take them off, then you got to look at it and see what happens.
Absolutely. So, how long have you been in education?
I've been in education about 33 years.
Wow.
Wow.
It
It's a long time dealing with somebody else's children. A
is.
long time.
I actually started my career out as an assistant, a classroom assistant, which is where you help the teachers with special needs students and all of
Right.
that. So that's actually how I started with that. And then I kind of got out of it and got into retail because I really like retail and fashion and all of that. So I did
Hmm.
that for a while, but then I ended up coming back to education because I guess that was my true calling. So um,
Right.
it's
Wow.
something that I've done and I'm going to do until I just don't feel like doing it anymore.
So I have a
Wow.
question. With you being a teacher that long, how have the children changed and transitioned? And
That's a good
even
question.
how have the parenting transition that you can see?
There has been a sharp twist and turn in the way they used to be and the way they are now. We don't value education now the way that they did when you were a kid or Donnell was a kid or even when I was a kid. That is not there anymore. It's more of just get these kids out of my face for the day. You don't have the parental involvement. You don't have the seriousness with which parents used to make their kids get an education. You still have some parents now who are really like that, but for the majority, it's like it's more of a convenience. It's not even that they realize the importance of education anymore. It's like um, students used to come to school and respect their teachers and want to learn and were excited about learning and actually loved it. Now you may get cursed out on any turn, and if you bring it to the parents' attention, then they're going to turn on you. Um, we can only work with what is sent to us. So you would be amazed at the difference in them. It is such a sharp difference right now. There's no discipline. There's no respect. Teaching used to be an honor profession. Where if you were a teacher, you could walk anywhere. Oh, that's Miss So and So. And you got respect. People, they reacted in a certain way, kind of like they would do if they saw a pastor. So it's not like that
Yeah.
anymore. You know, it's like kids come to school, they say anything to you, and there's no consequences. Because the times have changed to where there are no values anymore. So anything is accepted. And
Yeah.
I think, they took prayer out of school and all of that. So, just things have changed.
Yeah, and you know what? What you saying that you were saying about our generation being a part of still having that respect. I think part of that is because of the history that we were taught. And a
Absolutely.
lot of the history is really taken out of schools now. It's not just
Yes.
prayer, it's history. They do not, you ask them who Sojourner Truth is, if you ask them, the only reason they know Harriet Tubman because they just came out with a movie. Like, honestly.
Right.
But
Right.
if you really talk to them about, and I think the reason why we had so much respect was because we were with the older generation that
We
really,
were.
really talked candidly about their struggles, not
Right.
having education, and they just wasn't putting up for, you going to school acting a fool when they couldn't even go past
Right.
grade.
Yep.
Right. It was a time when the community raised your children.
Mhm.
Your neighbors could correct your child without a problem. And they were taught in the home about our history, and that's not being done now. It is alarming how our students now do not know their history. They know nothing about it. All they know is Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and that's it.
That's it.
And like you said, Harriet, because they just put the movie out. But right now it's going to be up to our communities to start teaching our children at home, because now they have passed laws to where we can't teach it in school. I mean, the critical race theory is a hit for us,
It
because
is.
it's never been in the textbooks anyway, and now they've made it a law that you cannot teach it. A teacher can lose their license if they teach it.
Wow.
So yes, so and that's another way to oppress the African American race. So it's going back. History repeats itself.
It
So
does.
there was a time when our ancestors and our grandparents and had to teach us about those struggles that Black people had. We taught it in the home. We sat around on the front porch and we listened, and now that time has come again. We're going to have to do it in the home. It can't be done in the public school. We have so many things that we have to fight with to get the students engagement now. They come to school with $300 shoes on, $800 phones. They're not studying about learning. They don't want
No.
to learn.
No.
Why should they? Everything is a click away. you know.
Yep.
So they
Wow.
don't understand that, and we're not getting the support. We have younger and younger parents, and so um, instead of real parenting going on, we have a lot of friendships. So we need to
Absolutely.
get that old fashioned discipline back into school, back into the home.
We do, and I said this before. I said, what's missing in our communities is Big Mama and
Oh yes,
Papa.
definitely,
We don't have Big Mama
definitely,
and Papa around anymore. I grew
yeah,
up with my grandma living down the street. My grandma lived with us, so when you was talking about their history, she set us down as kids, and she
right,
talked about certain things. She was like, "Hey, this is what I want you to know," and she let us know she didn't make it past the third grade because she had
right.
to go work in the field and those things. So education was definitely encouraged. And nowadays, education is not pushed as
No,
much as what it's like you said, $300 pair of shoes, $800 to $1,000 cell phone. Everything is a
yes,
click away,
Well, that's
and
what's educating them, the cell phones and everything that social media. But what they don't realize is social media is set up to make your mindset a certain kind of way.
yeah,
exactly,
You
it
won't.
doesn't
exactly.
challenge you to think
No, it
outside
does
the norm
not.
or the box. And teachers challenge you to a good teacher challenge you to think. Even though
Right.
they are sharing certain information with you, but they tell you, hey, think. Just don't
Yes.
receive
Yes.
what I'm sharing with you, but think. I had
Mhm.
teachers that would ask us to challenge them, with
Right.
certain things.
And a good teacher will. A good teacher learns from their students. You learn together. You are not just you're a facilitator. You're teaching those kids, but at the same time, they're teaching you. So it's a reciprocal learning process going on right there. And that's what's so critical, and that's what's missing today, because you have so many things that you have to compete with. They think anything that's written on the internet is true. You know,
Yeah, they do.
anything, conspiracy theories. Um, if you use this pandemic, people believe all of the stuff that they see on it. They don't bother to get the real story. You
They
know,
don't.
and so it's we're so easily led astray now, and it's
Yeah.
because we have so many different platforms. Social media. I have always believed that, because I believe my Bible, and y'all have to excuse me if you don't want me to talk about that, but I
That's
have to.
okay.
Oh
That's
no.
okay.
But
We
I
say
believe my Bible where, and it speaks of one language in the end times, and I believe that this Facebook, this all of this stuff, nothing is held back from us anymore. If I want to speak any language in the world, all I have to do is put it into Translate, Google Translate, and I'm going to do it. So I can send out any kind of message that I want to send out. And
Yeah.
we have young kids who are looking at this stuff who are so impressionable that they believe this. And
Yeah.
they take it. You have these kids walking around, they're not worried about learning and having a skill. They think they can come up and be a rapper and make $1 million tomorrow, or they can be the best basketball player. Those things are what they are aspiring to be instead of getting some knowledge that's going to help them.
That's true. And
And
I say this to my baby all the time. I'm like, all information is not truth. There's
right,
a lot of information out there, and so
yes,
there's a lot of platforms that share information, and
hmm
a lot of these information is disinformation. And
exactly.
in order for something to be a lie, it have to have a small amount of truth in it.
Well,
hmm
In
isn't
order
that
to be a
is
lie.
what the enemy does? Like it sounds something like it,
Hmm.
but it's not
Yes,
quite all the way true. So
exactly,
it's so
exactly.
planned out and intentional. And I will dare to say that even the grade of teachers have changed.
It
Oh
have.
Um,
yes, yes,
because I remember your teacher was like auntie, like she would
Yeah.
get into you,
yes,
she'd call you after class,
and
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 you were
straighten you
scared
out.
because
And
you
come
didn't
Yes,
know what was
and
gonna
will
happen.
and will come to
yes,
your house when
That,
school is over with.
huh?
and get you. Yeah,
Let me
you
speak
Yeah.
to your
know,
mother. But
and
these days, these teachers are, sometimes they can't find jobs with benefits, and they will go because they can get paid in the summertime and become
right,
a teacher and can't stand them kids. And the
right,
kids know it. So for
and
the few, you know, apples that just need a little extra tending to, that really
mhm,
could be good, but just don't have a good environment, they miss it. They miss that whole thing.
And that's a good
right, right,
that's a good analogy because in order for a tree to blossom or for fruit to bloom to come to fruition, you got to have a good tendon.
Hmm.
And so if the educator is not in a good space, then it's kind of difficult for those fruits to manifest the way they need to manifest.
and the thing today that's so critical is that as students are coming out, student teachers and the teachers are coming out, first year teachers, they are coming out, but they are not equipped to
Wow.
handle what these students are going through. You
Hmm.
know, they come through there, they're coming through on a book only learning. You know what I'm saying? They still have student teaching and all of that, but it is not the way that it used to be.
Yeah.
We had classes that taught us classroom management. These students today don't get that. So when their first year, if they don't have a mentor or teacher to work with them, then they don't know how to handle that class. And that's why so many kids, so I'm calling them kids because they are to me, but so many young teachers leave after the first 2 or 3 years because they get burnt out, because they don't have a true vision or a true understanding of what it means to be a teacher. As a teacher, you have to wear a million different hats, and you've got to be able to recognize what that student needs when they come in there. You've got to be a mother, you've got to be a grandmother, you've got to be a sister, an auntie, an uncle, whatever it is, that they need at that particular time. Teaching is not a 7 to 2 or 8 to 3 job, it is a 24-hour job. You have
Hmm.
got to be there where that student knows, because the one thing, like you said, Janice, that they understand is whether you care about them or not.
That's true.
They
Hmm.
can pick it up
Hmm.
immediately, they can pick it up. And that is how you develop a relationship. So many new teachers now, and they don't even bother to come in, or they just don't know how to develop relationships with those students. My children tease me all the time because all of my students know me wherever I go, years and years and years from when I've had them, and you never understand as a teacher the impact that you have on a student until you see them later, and then you may see them. I am forever running into somebody that I've had in elementary or middle school or high school or something, and they will tell me at that time, you made an impact on me because you made me do right when I didn't want to do right, or you talked to me like my mother didn't talk to me, or you talk to me like she did talk to me. So I want teachers to understand the influence and the impact that they can have on a student and how they can change it. Because see, we're not just teaching them the skills that they need to graduate. We got to teach them social skills. We got to teach them how life skills.
That's true.
Because sometimes we're the only ones that's going to give it to them. You know, a
Ooh.
teacher has to realize that you may be the only one to give that child a hug or a smile that day. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
That's
so
true.
you have to be prepared. You cannot go into it with a closed mind. You know, my philosophy when I first started teaching was that I teach the whole child, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever I could to teach them. That was my goal. And so, you know, I would have teachers, you know, sometimes they'll say, "Oh, you don't want little Johnny in your class." Don't tell me that, because see, I want to know Johnny for myself. And so you have to go and you give that person a fair chance, you know, because a lot of times that doesn't happen. You know, we don't only have racial profiling, we have student profiling, you know, to where you always tell. So you're not giving this child a chance from the beginning, you know. So it's one of those things where you've just got to, teaching is a calling. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just some, it's not a job. It's not something that you can just say, I'm going to do. Like she was saying, you know, a lot of people get in it because they're off in the summers and all of that. That's the wrong reason,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because what you do is so important. You're shaping a mind. You're creating a citizen to go out there and be in the world.
Wow.
That is so good. And I think this kind of ties in with your new position here at Humboldt City Schools, developmental or development.
Uh, yeah, director of professional development and
That's it.
instruction.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
I
My job is to train new teachers and to make certain that the instruction that we're putting out it aligns with the state, and that we're putting it out in a way that we can keep our students engaged and to get our scores up, you know, to where our school will not be a low level school, but a high performing school. So that's one of the things that we're working towards.
I was just
And I'm really excited about that.
I didn't even know that's what she did, but I was like, you need to teach a seminar where you just have,
Yeah.
because really what you're talking about, we're talking about schools right now, but that same principle goes in the church. When you're
It
teaching
does.
people, you have
Mhm.
to go past what you see presented to you, because sometimes there
Right,
are inner things going on. So
exactly.
literally what you're talking about is you doing psychology in the middle of the classroom.
Right,
So
you are.
yeah, yeah. So I didn't even know that part, but I was just like, she need to do seminars for teachers. Like,
Look,
ooh.
you was thinking the same thing that I was thinking. I mean, because she expounded on it like so well.
Well, thank
Mm-hmm.
And
you.
and my
Thank
question
you.
to you, as in your new position, how do you, since certain things not in place anymore with the young teachers, how do you in your position get them to that place so they won't be burnt out, so they won't be a dysfunctional teacher?
My goal and my plan is to create an atmosphere and an environment to where these teachers know that they have help and that they can reach out and that there are no dumb questions, you know, because so many times they come in feeling like they should already know everything. You can't. It's your first year, you know. So they need. I'm trying to create an environment to where they will come in and ask those questions. I'm providing training that will address the things like classroom management, discipline, how to plan effective lessons, how to get student engagement. And my goal is to pair them with mentor teachers, you know, because you always need somebody like that. You know, you got to have on the job training. You know, you can't just throw them out there. I can't throw you at McDonald's and you know how to make those fried things work, you know, or I can't come and do the job that you all do without you training me. If I wanted to come and work with either one of you tomorrow, y'all would have to train me because I would be lost. And that's why so many get teachers leave, because they're just put out there with these expectations, but there's things that we have to stop and realize that they need. You know, this is their first year to teach. I'm a seasoned teacher. I know the ropes now. So I can tell them and I can help them. But if I'm not willing to, or if there's nobody in that position, that person is going to get burnt out, you know,
Right.
because they're going to get frustrated with not having the classroom management. It's just a matter of getting and leaning on that other person's wisdom and getting to know that. And so we're going to be presenting that to our teachers. I have a lot of different workshops that are planned for them that's, you know, going to bring them in and hopefully get them the training that they need so that they won't leave and so that they'll feel confident when they go into their classroom and have because a confident teacher is a better teacher for
Yes.
their students, you know. And I want to teach them the things that's not taught in that college classroom, you know, like how to
Yeah.
communicate and how to connect with your baby, you know. You got to learn their language. Like one of the biggest things and issues that I see is how we do not know how to reach the young African American male. you
That's
know.
true.
And so, in all of the testing and all of everything that goes on with education, they put them in what is called subgroups when we're testing to see what their levels of achievement is. And so, the lowest achieving group is always the African American male. There's a reason for that. That's because they're not being reached. That a lot of them, it may be true that they don't have a father or mother at home, but that's where the teacher comes in.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you go off the wall and talk with your students and you create that relationship with them so that they know they have somebody that's in their corner. That's how you change the whole mindset of those children. A child needs to know that somebody believes in them.
True. True.
You, as a teacher, it is your responsibility to make that child feel so special when they come in that they want to be in your class.
Mm-hmm.
That they can't wait to see you the next day. And when you do that, it is so rewarding. I can speak as from personal experience. It is very rewarding because I have students that see me all the time, and usually my room is like the hangout room, but it's because of the relationships. I go out in the hallways, in the restroom, wherever it needs to get to know these kids. And once you get to know them, you will be surprised at some of the things that they unload on you. And you have to be prayed up and spiritually in your mind to where you can accept those things and hear those things and then give those kids what they need. And it's hard sometimes because you hurt for them, but you don't understand the value that it means so much that you're just there, that they can that you know these things that are going on with them.
And I think, Miss Jozelda, this is the key. You said you'll go wherever,
Yes.
whether they in the bathroom, whether they in the hallway,
Mhm.
wherever. And I think that's the main key. They know you
That's
coming.
like
They
and
know
that's
you
what's
coming.
missing.
Yeah.
Right. That's what's
And it,
missing. I have been to homes, I've been to, wherever I needed to go to reach those students, and you can tell when they're coming into your class, you can just pick it up. You can see the ones that are going to need the extra help. And so it's at that time that you have to make up your mind that you're going to reach out to that child
Yeah.
and develop that. And that's what helps our students to come along. And that's what's missing in our communities, though. It's just like I was saying, you need your grandmother and your granddaddy to help you. So they're not there anymore as much as they used. So now we have to mentor. And in the church, we need it in the church.
We do.
You know.
yes, yes.
We do.
Darn it,
Cause
I'm excited for Miss Jozelda. And
I
this
am.
is the reason why. This is the reason why I'm
Excuse
so
me.
excited for her. Because I'm listening to her and everything that she is saying.
Yeah.
And literally she has formed the art of going off the map when it comes to dealing with people, period. And I'm excited because this works in every area. If she
It
teach
does.
the teachers how to put themselves, literally what she's doing is putting herself in the space of the kids to understand and
Mhm.
walk in their shoes,
Right.
understand what they're going through. If they catch on to this, it's going to be a worldwide change. And literally,
It's going to be a
this
wildfire.
neighborhood,
Yeah.
this neighborhood wouldn't be the only neighborhood that literally I could see her going nationally teaching these things because it's necessary to put yourself in other people's spaces to
True.
Right.
understand, to grow, and that thing can
Yes.
really trickle into the government. Really,
Yes.
True.
Yes. Because
It's
that's where it needs to be. That's where it needs to be.
absolutely
And
because
it's going to take advocates like us doing that. You present this type of platform for people to hear about it and to know about it. And then having people who are willing to actually do it. That's what's going to change because um, when the new teachers go out, they see the new kids as their students, and I see the new teachers as mine. So I try to give them my 33 years of wisdom.
right.
You know, um, I don't I've never gone with the flow. That's just not who I am. I've never gone with the flow
That's
because,
true.
and I have never been popular because of it, but it's because I have to go with what my mind is telling me and what the spirit tells me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I've never been one of those. So I have been a little unorthodox in the way that I teach. I've been in trouble with the boards before, because they didn't want me to teach certain things or teach it the way I was teaching it. And I'd have parents that would go down and say, "You got to do something with that teacher. She's gonna." But at the end of the day, my kids outperformed all of the other kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because of the relationship we had. In my classroom, you didn't have the dictator. It was a democracy there. And so we learned together. We were a community, a family. You know what I'm saying? And that's what is missing so much in the classrooms now. You gotta when I have my classes, when my kids come in, we introduce ourselves, we find out what we need to know about each other, and then we put our rules together. It holds them accountable, it holds me accountable, and that's what's missing. We have to teach them how to be accountable and
That
make them
is
a part of it.
that is that is good because it's inviting them into a space
Right.
that
And
they
they
can,
take ownership.
yeah,
Oh, that's a good. I'm gonna use that for Sunday school because if you made the rule,
Right. You got to
yeah.
find okay, because see when they make the rules and the consequences, there's nothing they can say when you have to follow them, see. So it makes them be so much more responsible
wow,
because and they take that ownership. And it's amazing to watch because when an outsider comes in and they try to disturb the atmosphere that we have, they're not gonna let it happen.
right,
Like a new kid comes in, we may have already got our routines down, everything is together, and you have a new student added. Those students will let them know right away. Look, this is how it's done in here.
Yeah.
This is what we do. And you can see the transformation taking place. So see, it spreads. It doesn't stay in that one space. It spreads and it goes on. And I have had kids. They want to learn. That's what we're not looking at. Kids really, really want structure and they really want to learn, but a lot of people don't want to give it to them because it takes work. It's work. And so um, they don't want that battle. But in reality, if you think about it yourselves, you really wanted your parents to correct you when you were wrong.
Yeah.
You wanted them to put you back on the right path. Why? Because then you knew they cared about you.
yeah,
Because if I just
It's
let you
true.
keep on doing what you want to do, you don't care about me. And that's what's happening in a lot in classes today. The kids get away with anything, the teachers don't correct. So they know that there's no love for them there. And so that's what happens. And so that's why when they do get into a teacher's class that does that for them, they love those teachers. They may go out and say, "Oh, I hate me," but I have had kids fight over me before. And that's because of the relationship that I have. It's not just teacher pupil. It's they see me as somebody else. Whether it's an auntie or a girl, I have them call me mom. I have them call me everything. But that's because they know if they need something, I'm there, and that's what we need as a whole community. We need to do it at home. We need to do it in the church, especially. I would like to see the church become more involved with the school systems
Me too. Me too.
because we need that. We need to support each other because we have all of that wisdom in the church that's not being tapped, you know, and so we need to get it and put it back into schools. That's what we had when we were coming up.
We
The
did.
school and the church were together. That's how we
mm-hmm.
got to the freedoms that we have right now because of that, not because of some government passing this, not because they never would have passed it if it had not been for the struggles that we put together. So that's what I would like to see happen.
I'm tell you something. I keep hearing a repeat of, and Kiera said this too last week. You have to build a relationship,
Oh, you
and
definitely.
so I'm noticing a pattern. And as you talk about it, our teachers with us, we had a relationship with them.
Yeah, you had a relationship. They knew you. They knew your parents. They knew your cousins and your uncles. They could call you, and I'm gonna call your uncle on you. They knew
Yeah,
because you had a support system, and that's what's missing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the government has tied teachers' hands to where we can't do the things that we need to do to love on and teach our kids. You know, they they want to say that you're stepping on somebody's right, or you're not doing this and that. But what they're failing to see is you're stepping on my right to teach,
true.
and to teach truth. Um, so they don't want us to do so many. You can't teach this, you can't teach that, or you can't discipline in this way. You know, that has hurt our whole community is not being able to discipline. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because we need that to where anybody, other people can correct you, whether it's the custodian, well, somebody else needs to help correct that child. You can't do it all alone.
That's true.
Yeah.
It takes a village, like somebody posted, I think it was Pastor Evan posted, it takes a it really takes a village. You know, it takes us all working together. And you would be surprised at your influence. You may not see it, you may not think it, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
I think the
That's
biggest disheartening issue for me is you let one unconcerned teacher, one unconcerned student change a whole rule, movement, and
yeah.
everything.
Exactly.
Instead of disciplining that teacher, letting them know this is what you don't do things. You don't set rules for the best interest of the child or the teacher.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that can ruin everything, because especially in the lower grades, the kids are so impressionable. It's their formative years. It's when they're learning everything, and if they don't get good teachers, then by the time they get to fifth and sixth grade, it's too late.
Oh,
The learn for
Yeah.
loving is gone. They wanna learn when they're little. They're so excited. They want to. But if you get some teachers that don't make them keep that thirst, it's not going to work.
That's
You
true.
know, they lose it and they become unconcerned with it. It becomes a chore to them then. I don't
mhm.
want to read. We've let them have these phones and TVs. They don't know what it means to go to a library and pick up a book.
No.
No. And
You know,
instead of having library time, you give them free time for the phone. I don't understand that.
exactly. And that right now, my concern is that we are getting away from an actual hardbound book. Everything is ebook now.
Yeah.
You know, they're not reading those books. They're not
No.
going to read them. You know, I can remember now. I have never been able to travel the world, but I travel the world through books. You know, I have always loved to read. I've always been an avid reader, and I taught my children to be avid readers, and it has paid off. And I try to tell kids you learn so much because see what they don't realize
That's
is that
true.
you're supposed to learn new words every year. Thousands of new words each year as you go a higher grade. You're supposed to learn another thousand or so words. We don't do that.
No.
Yeah.
You would be amazed to see, like, writing essays and things like that. They can't write them because they write like their text. So I've had papers turned into me. I see you. I see you. Not the words, just the letters. You know, and they
Yeah.
write the whole paper like that. The spelling
Wow.
is gone. They can't spell. They don't know how to look up or do research. All they do is Google. They don't know what a dictionary is. You know, it's because all of this right now we are in a microwave society to where we want it right now.
Yeah.
We don't want to put in the work that we need. A real good meal is one you put on the stove and cook.
And
And
you eat.
microwave stuff
Right.
cannot
Yeah.
stand close to that. But we have been brainwashed into thinking that quicker is better, and it's not.
It's
It's
not.
not. You know, anything that's good, if you think about it, anything that's worthwhile, it took you some time to get it.
True.
It didn't come overnight.
Uh,
That's
You
Come
true.
know,
on. That's a revelation for
and it will
somebody.
last.
True relationship.
Right, right. It
That's
takes time. It takes time. You can't. You can't just. It can't. This little microwave society that we're in. It's not a good thing for us.
it's not. And I think we have replaced and used cooking as an example because cooking it really takes time. It's a
It does.
preparatory moment. And when you
Right.
got to prepare, you got to
You have to
season, you got
prepare it.
all that type of stuff. Now we just put stuff in the microwave. So we treat education and learning
In
the
the
same
same
way.
way.
And then we miss comprehension because of that. We
Exactly.
don't
Exactly.
understand, like, I hear the young people like that I work with that's 25 and younger ask me questions, to me that is simple, but because they didn't get that back then, they're lost now and they're struggling.
They're struggling because they have not been taught to think. You all referred to that earlier. You all were made to think, to
Yeah.
challenge.
Yes.
Critical thinking was something that you were taught. These kids don't get that now. You
It's
know,
abuse. It's abuse now to make them think. I
yeah,
promise you. Like I was talking to my baby, and I say things to get her thinking, and she felt like I was abusing her because I
Right.
was challenging her to think beyond where she was
Exactly.
at.
Yes.
You trying to
Yes.
make me look dumb.
Yeah, I was trying to
Yes.
make you look dumb. I'm trying to make you think.
Yes.
Like, no, yeah,
But think about
because
the jobs that'll change.
mhm,
Because I remember back in the day, we had the encyclopedia man coming to our house
Yes.
every
Yes.
exactly
year, every 5 years,
every
because new
year.
information came
Yes.
out, and we had to buy another set of
Right.
encyclopedias.
Because they were
Because if
updated. Right.
right,
Yes.
information
Yes,
changes, every year, and
but
nothing stays
that
the
job is
same.
no longer. I don't know nobody walking around with encyclopedias.
No,
Right.
I'm gonna have them
And
in my house. My child gonna look up something. I don't care if it's
yeah.
old information. They gonna look up something from the encyclopedia.
I promise you,
Exactly.
if you're around me, Sister Joe, and you ask me a question, I'm talking about a younger kid, I'm gonna ask them, did you read it? I
Yes.
even going to a grocery store and I'm asking you to find Pine Sol, and you looking around looking for the bottle that has
Oh my God!
the image of
Yes,
the pine cones,
it gets on my
Yes.
nerves
and
so bad.
then you bring me pine fresh. That's
Yeah.
not what I asked you.
Yeah.
And then the next question, did you read what I asked you to go look
No, they
for?
didn't. They
That's
Right.
didn't.
that is that's thrown out, and we need that to be reinstituted back into our communities.
Right. Because when you teach them to think, it's like I think Pastor Abbott was just made a statement there about the kids having imagination. They don't
Yes.
have it because they haven't been taught to have it. They haven't been challenged to have it. They don't know what it means to take a story, a simple word, a sentence, and make a story out of it. They don't understand about that.
We had to do that.
We
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 have
had
to do
to
that.
do
yeah
that.
Yes.
That's how I
Yes.
found out I was a writer.
yeah
Free
Yes.
thinking, learning how to do that. And with him saying no imagination, I was thinking about this how, okay, something simple like The Color Purple. I love that movie. But when you read the book, the
Yes.
details are completely different. And they
Very
skip some
different.
stuff. They skip some
Yes.
stuff in the movie now, y'all.
yeah
I'm telling y'all.
Yes.
So I have learned, like, if I really, really like something, if they have a book on it first, I
Yes.
try my best. I'm not always good at it, but I try my best to read the book first and then look at the movie to see what the
Right.
difference
Right.
is.
yeah.
Because the movie is never like the book. I'm
No,
like
The
you,
books
Janice. I always try to read the book first because that movie is not going to be anything like that.
the
You know.
books are
because
always better. It
you get
just
backstories and
yeah.
everything. Sometimes I have to skip all of that. When I looked at
Right.
receipt, they skipped a lot of information. So my nephew's down on the other end. Now I done peeked out some information. He's like, "What happened there? What happened there?" I say, "See, what happened was when her daddy was this and that. And that. Where you know that from? Don't worry about it. You need to read something.
Right. That's right.
You have
And
to. You have to." And I am a person. I guess I'm big on history and reading because even in my ministry, I deal with people, and you have to
mhm.
know the backstory when you
Right.
read the Word of God. You can't just read that scripture and not read before and after to see what was
Exactly.
the
and
reason that
right
he did that. You
and
know
the
what I'm
Yes.
story.
saying? So
Yeah,
I always challenge my kids to understand the whys, the who's, the
Right.
what. Find all
Yes.
those things so you can apply. Because there's no way you can apply things if you don't get a backstory. Because you have a
that's true.
backstory.
That's true.
There's a backstory, and and see, that's what's so scary right now. Our kids do not know the backstory to us. They have no. They think it's always been like this. They think all of these privileges that they have, that it's always been like this. And the sad part is, they don't want to read it. They're believing these movies that have been put out, like Django and all of these others. That's not showing a true portrayal of what happened. You
Right.
know,
Yeah,
they are not being taught real history. They looking at movies and videos and things like
yeah,
that, and they don't get the real story.
that's
They don't
true.
understand, like you said, they are missing the best parts because they haven't read their book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
That's
what
Mm-hmm.
true.
we've got to work on and focus on.
Well, in that case, Miss Josella, which you're working on already, we need to work on the parents opening their book to
Yes,
unveil themselves. I'm talking about the book of their
Hmm.
own heart, the things that they have
yes,
been through. And that's a lot of the disrespect the kids have because their parents do a certain
That's
thing
true.
and they never understand why
right.
mama like that, why she act like that, why she make these decisions like that, and they're just left. Now that's where the imagination plays in. It they don't have
Yeah,
Yeah,
imagination for
exactly.
hope. They
it
don't have
does.
imagination for good things. They have
Right.
imagination as to why my mama act the way she do.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's it.
Exactly.
And I'm
Exactly.
gonna share you something. I tell people this all the time. My mom and dad wasn't, I want to play sports. Believe it or not, I wanted to play football, basketball, and
Come
baseball.
on,
Believe it or
bookworm,
not.
playing football.
Um, and so, they always stuck it in my face why I couldn't do that. And so what they did do, my mama is an avid reader. She still to this day. My mom got books galore. Like she reads constantly. Some stuff she reads, I'm like, I don't know about that, but she reads. She reads. And so because of that, I remember the first time I said I was bored, she stuck the Bible in my face and I learned Psalms 23. Then she started sticking other books in my face. And because of that, I love to read.
Yes, you
Yeah.
do.
Like I read almost anything,
I
like
be like, come on,
literally.
let's go. I gotta read it first.
I gotta read it first.
That's good though.
I gotta read it first,
I'm the
and
man scan through and go on about my business. That baby still reading.
because I got to get the backstory.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
and so it's like that. And I want to say this, and this is gonna be off subject because I just were made aware that we are getting comments that is not coming through, and we do apologize because of that. It's a
Hmm,
StreamYard thing, and I know some people are commenting and they're asking questions, and we cannot see your comments
really?
or your questions on our platform. So we do apologize to you about that. If you will, I got my phone right here. If you want to ask questions, hit me up in my inbox and ask me, and I will ask Sister Joe. I'm calling Sister Joe. We at church. Miss
That's fine.
Jozelda. Miss
Sister.
She a sister
Jozelda.
Joe too.
So at church, I call her Mama Joe. I think I call Mama, Auntie, all of them. All of it. She has this motherly personality for real. So if you have any issues, just hit me up in my personal inbox, and I will ask the questions. If you have any statements you want to make publicly, you just do that. Like
Yeah,
I said, I
you
do
can hit me up
apologize.
too. Either way,
Yes,
I
yes,
don't know. A lot of times we get on after the day, we're like, I didn't see that comment.
right,
Well, I didn't
right.
see them say that. I don't know what that is,
Well,
but
with Facebook, see, Facebook changes a lot of rules,
mm,
and so
Yeah.
they're making it harder for third party platforms to bring certain information to their platform. So it's
mm,
like it's becoming more and more, which I understand because there's so much craziness going on, but it
Yeah.
kind of hindered those who are actually using it for. Okay, I just pulled it up. Okay, here we go. Pastor Eric Newble. So the question is, and this will be good. So Joe, you probably answer this, and we're going to get off here real soon because I know you got some stuff to take care of. So how do we, speaking as teachers or our community, change this in our community? What we're talking about? How do we make it applicable?
Well, the change starts from within first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you've got to get your mindset that you're going to be a change, or you're going to help make that change come about. So it starts with you. You have to make that, because it's not going to happen just because we wish it would happen. So
Right.
what has to happen first is that you have to make that commitment, and seek out, what can I do to help. You can start with your church. You can start with your school. You can volunteer. We always need volunteers to come in to read to our students, to come in and mentor with our students. And yes, I know they have these things about how you have to have background checks and all that, but you don't have to have a background check in the community, and you don't have to have one
Yeah.
at the church house. So there's a place for you to start. We have boys and girls, you know they have these stipulations about you being able to get to kids. But if you really want to do it, then you start in your church, in your community, in your neighborhood, reaching out to those young people, trying to develop a relationship, because it's all going to depend on the relationship that you have with
Yeah.
them. That's where it's going to
mm.
start.
That's true. That's true. Somebody just hit me up saying, Apostle Newble just hit me up saying
Pastor
we.
Newman got like whole. He got like a
Yes.
whole.
I don't know why his stuff is not coming through, but he said we need her information. So
Right.
I'm telling Sister Joe, I promise you, I often sound real spiritual, and this is what we do from time to
Let the
time.
Lord use you, brother.
You never know why God places you in certain positions.
Mhm.
Like, and I know one time you was trying to go for the principal job and things like that, and it seemed like it wasn't happening and things like that. But 2021, July rolls in, you are in the position where you are in right now.
And what's that
And
position again? Pastor wanted to know.
Director of Professional Development and Instruction. But I do more than that. I mean, I I'm not into. Let me say this: I'm not into titles. I'm into making a change. You can call me whatever you want to call me,
yeah,
as long as you let me get my message out.
but the, but the,
Right.
but it's so strategic, like in the position that you're in. Even with the title that you like, I know you're not a title person. You like just call me Joe, call me Sister Joe, and you always been that way since I met you. But it's funny how that title fits who you really are. Like, and people don't realize, like, even some of my leadership skill, I'm being honest about it, far as how to handle, how to move and whatever, she taught me. She would like, we would have conversations after things over. She like, well, Brother Darnell, this, Brother Darnell. They're like, okay, I didn't think about that. Yeah, try this and try that. And I'll go back and try it. And it was effective. So it's funny, like, and this one, like I say, you're trying to sound spiritual, whatever, but it's amazing how everything else that you chase behind led you up to this. Every door that was shut led you
Oh yeah,
here. Yeah.
yeah,
And just
and I believe
imagine,
that. Yeah, it's my testimony is that I am a prime example of waiting for God's time. You know, I
Mhm.
had my time. I had when I wanted it to happen. And He took me through many different roads. And at the time, I couldn't understand why He was taking me through those roads and for what purpose. Because I had a lot of different positions. I've been in positions of leadership before, but something always happened, and I couldn't understand why. And being human, it hurt. And I had went through a lot of disappointments. But the one thing that I tried to remain was faithful. And whenever He took me out of it, I said, well, God, you had a reason for doing it.
yeah,
But I learned something. He let me get there just far enough to learn what I needed to learn. And I believe that this is now the combination of what He wanted me to learn so that I can be more effective for what it is that He wants me to do. Because my whole goal in life is to do what He wants me to do you know, and that is, He has given me a gift. I don't take it lightly for being able to reach out to people because you know me, Donnell. What you see is what you get, you know,
absolutely.
and that is how I am with everybody, and that is how I develop my relationships because I am an open book, and people can see that and feel that, and so they're more readily available or they want to open up and be that way as well. And so I can, find out things that you wouldn't normally find out. And so we grow together. And then
Yeah,
I thank God for giving me a non judgmental spirit. I don't
Mhm.
judge, and I thank God for that
that can
because
preach. That can
that's
preach.
what, you judge, you miss out on a lot. You
Yes.
know, you miss so many beautiful things when you judge, because just because it looks like it's good doesn't mean it's good. And then you look at it, it's just like y'all saying y'all are avid readers. I'm like that. My mother taught me a long time ago. You can't judge that book by its cover because some of the best books I've
Oh,
ever read were terrible looking on the
right.
outside,
Yes.
but man on the inside.
Good
You
stuff.
look. I mean, a prime example is the Bible. It's nothing fancy to look at, but
Yeah.
Lord have mercy, what's on the inside.
Woo.
You know what I'm saying? How it changes everything. And
Yes.
that's what it's about. And I think that at this particular time it's like I'm being put in the position that I'm in because God wants to reach these people. He wants to use me as a vessel, you know, to reach these people and to help turn around the things. I'm not saying I'm a miracle worker or anything like that, but I know godly wisdom. And I know that God has given it to me. And I'm not going to say, this is Jozelda. No, it is not. It is by the glory of God. That's who
Yeah.
I give glory to.
Come on, Miss
Because,
Joselda.
because he has, instilled into me what's in me. I have had people tell me, oh, you're so smart. You're so smart. No, I'm not. I'm not. I have what God poured into me.
Yes.
And so what he poured into me, I don't keep it to myself. I share with others. I've always been that way. You know, I thank God for my grandmother who raised me when I was a little. She instilled something into me that made me really be a different type of person. You know, And so I have a different spirit that I'm so thankful for that she put into me, that I just love people, and I'm going to help people no matter who they are. I don't care if you clean, nasty, whatever. If I can help you, I'm coming to where you are,
Yeah,
and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to reach out to you. And I think you can feel the genuineness, because you know when a person is being fake with you
that's
or
true.
Yeah.
not. And that is the one gift that I thank God the most for, because I can develop relationships with students and with people, and it has helped. It turns it around, and that's what's so important. We've got to learn how to build relationships, and it's not our fault. People that don't know how to build relationships, it's not their fault. It's that they haven't been taught. You got to be taught how to build a relationship. She and I were having a backdoor or backstage conversation about, you know, you got to figure out things before you jump into them.
Yeah.
We're talking about marriage. You can't just jump into it. You got to know the whole story about it.
Come
Yeah, he looked
on.
good. Yeah, she smelled good. She got that fine shape and all this, that, or whatever. But you got to understand there's something else that comes along with that.
That's
What's
true.
the one?
Education is the same way. Education is
Yeah.
the same way. Something comes with that. You see these kids, and you have uh, both ends of the spectrum. You have those kids who are not, who can't do or who want to do. You have those kids who can but won't, and then you have those kids who are overachievers. And then you've got to be able to reach all of them, pull them
Mm-hmm.
back in to where they can blossom, and they can use the gifts that they have. And it's a process. It's not an overnight 9 to 5. I can do this. No, it's an all the time. You got to be on call. You know, you got to be there, and you got to see. It's got to be something that you want to do. It's not something that you take lightly, because you are affecting a person.
Yeah.
You know, you're
Darn,
developing that person, and that's what it takes.
Darnay, it look like we
Lord,
need a segment called Josella's Corner because
Jozelda Corner, I promise.
let me tell you something. She is putting some fat on these good people's head. You hear me? Because
Man,
first of all, the whole grandma, we was gonna ask her because Pastor Ken, this some of his comments not coming through too.
yeah,
He asked the question on there, who was your
influence.
influence? And she already answered that question. She said grandma was her influence. And
Yeah,
I like the fact where you said grandma said don't judge a book by its cover. That deals with people. So what the advice she
Mhm.
gave you was for books and people because
Right.
some people don't choose book like you said because of what it looks like on the outside.
that's
But
Hmm.
true.
you have learned the art of not paying attention to the outside. And I
Right.
I think that goes across the board with students, with books, with
Yes.
people, with
Exactly.
ministry, all of
Hmm.
that. That
Yes.
yeah, we
Yeah.
need that.
We do. We
Look,
do.
my
That's what's missing.
friend girl said yes. Joe Zelda's Corner.
Yes, baby, we need that, baby. And I'm gonna ask her, can we meet once a week? We just listen to her talk, baby, and we could just have conversation. Because
Well, I
back in the
appreciate
day,
that.
I love hanging with older people because you just learn so much,
So
and
much. That's
it's
why I
things
act
that
old
you didn't
now.
even think about. Like I think that's why I always been like an old head. Every time you act so
That's
old,
the reason why I promise you I act old. I hung around old people because I love their
yes.
insight,
Right.
their
So you can
wisdom, and
get
their
that
strength.
wisdom.
Yeah,
Hmm.
But
yeah,
that's why I'm the go-to person, baby. That's why you the go-to person
Yes.
because you hang around
yeah.
information.
Yes.
Love it, love it.
Yes.
Whatever I can find some information, I'm stuck there. Like
So I'm gonna have
you
to get
know.
Yeah.
your name, Miss Josella, honey, because honey, we're gonna have to hang out.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
then
we
give
got a
her
lot
my
of
number,
conversations.
Donnell.
I will. I mean, somebody else asked for your phone number. I mean, it,
Pastor. He wanted
yeah. You
he tried to
want to
get
cut?
teach a whole seminar to the teachers because this goes past just education in the school system. Baby, this goes to spiritual education.
Yes.
You
And
got
you
Yes.
to
said you said a lot of things that definitely could be
cross
used.
over.
Yeah, can definitely cross
Mhm.
over. And and I say this. I think Sister Joe, me, you had talked about this years ago. We was talking about the youth department. We was talking about teaching the kids and things like that. And you was like, what you learn in here is going to translate to the world.
Mhm. Yep.
These are the same instructions that you're gonna need in the world. In
Right.
the term secular,
Yeah.
communities. You're gonna need that same information, that same is and you know what I think was missing in our community as far as church is concerned. I mean, you was talking about this behind the stage. Is the ability to merge religion with thought.
Right. Right.
You can bring your brain to the church.
Yes. Yes.
And they don't. They don't be. They get so spiritually deep, baby. They get crazy. Why supposed to be shouting in front of the light bill place, trying to get their lights paid instead of bringing money.
I,
Yeah.
and it's,
They didn't
or you
bring
did,
their brains, Giselle. They did not bring
That's
yeah,
their
right.
brains.
That's right.
You
You're
know
right,
that
sweet.
yeah.
this shout is not gonna get your lights on at the end of the day.
It's not gonna pay your bills. I promise you,
That's
it's
right.
not.
That's right.
I'm an avid praiser. I'm all that, and I believe praise do open doors. But so does responsibility and principles.
And witty
Right.
inventions, they do. They use your
Right.
brain everywhere you go.
That's
You keep the
true.
Lord
That's
with
true.
you and take your brain.
And take your brain. Yeah.
Absolutely. Guess what, y'all? Guess what? And we got to cut this conversation.
We going to cut it.
It's only supposed to be 45 minutes.
Oh my
We
gosh,
just
I'm sorry.
we just look. We gotta repent for lying every time
That
we
we
get on
like
this.
everything on this show. I don't
Just-
understand.
Sister Joe was saying so much stuff, and I was sitting here like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And then when I was going to ask her a question, she answered the question.
Before you
And
can
then-
answer it, she
right?
can determine everywhere, baby. She don't
No,
need our help. We not answer no
no,
questions.
no. It definitely, Bishop. You're right. It is a great conversation.
And these are the
Thank
hidden
you.
jewels that we want to showcase.
Yes.
Because
Thank you.
if you don't know her, I don't know her per se. I've seen her. I don't know her, but the thing she's giving me, I'm going to know her.
Great. I look
Man,
forward to it.
Hmm.
I tell you this. I promise you, to look at her, you think that she is a mean person because she gives you that look. She gives you that
That's
look.
mama. That's
But
mama. Like,
when I tell you she loves so hard and so deeply, I can call her like I can text 9 o'clock now. Hey, I need to talk to you. She will respond back to me, or if she don't respond to me, then she text me like, Hey D, I didn't see your message until the end. What's up? You good? Whatever. And I promise you, I tell anybody, I love Sister Joe. That's my mom.
Thank
That's
you.
my
I love
auntie.
you
I
too, baby.
love her. And when
Yeah.
folks be like, she be nope, she ain't mean. Jeff, that woman is on point. She's straight. I defend her.
that's what you talking about. Your students fighting for you. Look at that. She ain't mean. She's nice.
She's not. She's a man. I tell you, and but I'm telling you what, and I'm saying it because it's very strategic how God plays certain people in life. My mama is like this, so it wasn't hard for me to receive, certain things because my mama loved hard. My mama's very
Yeah.
supportive, and she may not always be smiling and be like, did, but trust and believe behind closed doors they fighting for you.
Yeah. Every time. Every
and,
time.
and so like my niece love you.
I
Elizabeth,
love her too.
man, she loves you.
Yes.
And
I love
Miss
those.
Porter,
I love her and all those children. So, but they know that,
yeah.
they know that. So,
And so it's a this is your passion. I heard your passion tonight about
yeah.
education, being an educator. I have one more question that I want to ask you that I asked Kiera last week. Last year we had the pandemic kind of surged up real bad. We're still dealing with the issues today. How did virtual learning affect you?
Um, it was really hard on me because I was not able to have that one-on-one connection with my students, and so I suffered and they suffered because I wasn't able to explain the way that I wanted to explain, and I didn't get to see that light bulb go off in their eyes when they finally got what I was trying to teach. So it was very hard. Um, I think it was hardest on the students because they miss so much, because there's a connect that you have to have with the students as a teacher when you're teaching them that you can't give them virtually, because it's so cold and it's so bland and it's just no way for them to interact. They can't ask the questions the way that they want to ask the questions. They can't participate the way that they want to participate because you're in like this big Zoom meeting, and so kids are not going to let you know that they don't understand because everybody in there going to see that they don't understand. Whereas in the classroom, you have things that you can use that the kids can tell you. Like I had little cards and things like that, little red and blue. I call them my stoplight cards. If they understood it, they could do a green light. If they didn't kind of got it, they used a yellow card. And if they didn't get it at all, they'd raise a red card. Little things like that just to be around. And I knew that they didn't get it, and I could take that time to go over and talk to them, go over with them one more time. They don't have that in the virtual learning.
mm,
You don't have that back and forth that you would normally have. You can tell they need to hear you. They can hear you, but They need to see you and look in your eyes and see what you mean. You know what I'm saying? We don't have. They didn't have that, and so I suffered. I hated virtual learning. I, I really, it was the worst thing that has ever happened to me as far as teaching, because I did not get to have that connection that I wanted to have with my students.
That's the same response Kira said.
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
thing, and that shows the heart of a teacher.
yeah.
I want to say this to everybody that's out there. Teaching is a ministry for our church people, our Christian community. That is a ministry, and you're doing more just than teaching 1 + 1 = 2. You, like Sister Joe said, you dealing with the whole person. You
Right.
dealing, and you want to minister to the whole person. And I like that, and that stuck with me because we don't have people who wants to know and minister to the entire man, child, and that's a powerful statement. And that spoke your passion and your love. And then the second part I took away was that you're non-judgmental
Yeah.
because you can't effectively reach out to somebody with a judgmental mindset. Man, that is wonderful. I promise you, I can go another hour just talking. Man, this is some good stuff.
Yes,
Stephen
Thank
Logan
you.
said,
so
"Teach
thank
Joe."
you, but thank you, Miss Josella.
Thank
We
you.
really let me say thank you to all the students that have been affected by you for caring. I mean, I know it changed my life and it's changed a lot of people's lives. And I just want to say we appreciate teachers like you, and we are looking forward to you literally bleeding over more people to teach them how to care just like you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. I really have enjoyed this conversation, and I
I
do
have
thank you
too.
for it. I'm honored that you asked me to do it. So I love it. Thank you so much.
I promise this would not be your last time on here.
Yay.
I promise you.
Awesome. That's great.
I promise you, in my mind is already turning. I'm like, I got idea, I got idea, and I'm just hang tight after the show is over with. I'm discuss the idea with you, and so we're
Uh-huh.
Okay.
gonna go there. It's definitely gonna be a good one. Public, we about to close this. This has been a great conversation. Joe, Mama Joe, TT Joe, have definitely dropped some nuggets and caused us to even
20
think.
piece.
Yes,
20
yes.
piece nugget.
20-piece nugget, and it was definitely like very informative, inspirational, and spiritual. So she preached, and so I say this when good information have been given out because I do believe we have people that is on our podcast that believe in giving. If you want to sow into her life, or you want to do something special for her, I don't know her cash app information, so I'm gonna let her give it out, and then later on we will post it on our page just in case you want to give to her. Sister Joe, what's your cash app information?
It's just $, my name, Jozelda Porter.
Jozelda Porter. That is so simple. Man, some of
See,
these folk be
baby,
having
they be my boo,
my
thumbs
boo
up,
slash underscore. I'm like, God, Jesus, how much?
brown sugar, 22. Yeah,
Yeah.
And then you got this
okay.
weird picture. Like, is this you?
People, while we're at it, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to us. Y'all, the more you guys subscribe to us, we're able to go live on YouTube and other great things. And you're
Yeah,
also pushing this brand where we're able to bring great people on, just like Miss Joselda. And we want to do that. We want to come on more often. We want to just amp this whole thing up. As you guys know, we
absolutely,
are working on our radio, the part of our radio, and so we need you guys to support. We need you to support in sharing, liking, and subscribing and sowing that seed. You can sow a seed to $ rare image 26. You know that we are always open if you want to broadcast your business, do shout outs. We do that. So just contact us, inbox us. Of course, you can inbox us for prayers, any kind of prayer request,
absolutely.
any kind of topic request. We do all of that. Just inbox us the topic that you would like to see, and we will schedule that thing. Anything else?
Yes, definitely. Next month we're gonna return back to our men
Yes,
session
it
and
is.
to our women's session. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the title as a man's word. I kind of feel that on that one. So we're gonna be doing that all over again. We're gonna have a group of guys and a group of women, that we're gonna have a conversation where it's definitely gonna be like good. Like we're gonna have different age ranges and all that, so it's definitely gonna be good. Also, we are doing free shout outs, like Joe said. Um, every Friday, we was trying to start this Friday. So if you have a business that you want us to shout out, we will shout it out. We will try to create some type of graphic. I'm not good at it, but I'm trying to do something to help you look nice and go from there. Because we definitely want to let people know who you are and about your business. And then we have packages as well. After that, if you want to sponsor, we have packages that it's not expensive. It starts off at I believe $20. Then it goes up to 100. So just in case, that's just for businesses, and just in case you want just sponsor us personally, it's the same way. So we want to say thank you, Sister Joe, all over again. This has been a great
Thank
conversation,
you.
and it is our tradition that we end this with prayer, and we're going to have Joe to end our broadcast out with prayer.
I sure will. And for those that know, please continue to keep praying for me. I do go into surgery Monday. I'm going to have Darnell go live maybe on my page, maybe on his page, just so you guys can see that I'm doing well. It may be a little minute before I be back on, but know that all things are well. And so we're going to pray. God, we thank you for, God, just this broadcast. We thank you for Miss Josella. We thank you for
Thank
the
you.
anointing that rests upon her life, God. We
Thank
pray
you.
that every endeavor that she goes out to do and sets out to do, God, that it be blessed wherever she sets her hand and
Thank
tread her
you,
feet, that those
Jesus.
places be blessed, God. We thank you. And we send
Yes.
ministering angels even now to set up
Thank you, God.
Thank you,
seminars,
Jesus.
set up
Thank
every
you.
building. God, we even call forth international and national
Thank
recognition
you,
for the
Jesus.
training that she is doing. God, we just thank you even
Yes,
now
Jesus.
that you are
Yes.
going to spiritually connect her and network
Thank
her
you, God.
with some
Thank you, God.
people
Thank
that
you,
want
Lord.
to push her like never before. All this time of cultivating these
Thank you,
down
Jesus.
and down doors, God, you have called her for such a time as this. And God, we
Yes,
Yes.
thank
Jesus.
you. We honor you even now that
Thank
we
you, God.
had the advance to even
Yes.
open
Yes,
up people's
Jesus.
eyes to see, God. But we thank you
Yes.
for every person on
Thank
this
you.
line, God. We
Yes,
pray,
God.
Thank you,
God, special
Jesus.
blessing upon them. May this
Yes.
weekend be a refreshing for them, and may they
Yes.
be strengthened for the next week. We thank you that
Yes.
all things are made well. We pray ministering
Thank
angels
you.
for camp
Yes,
round
God.
about them, God. If their healing is needed, God, we
Yes.
thank you for it even now. If deliverance is needed, we thank you for it
Thank you.
even now. And may this show always be a platform to give them
Yes.
strength for the next week.
Yes, God.
We
Thank you,
honor
Lord.
you and we bless you. We don't take it lightly,
Yes.
the things that you have given us. And we
Thank you,
bless you
God.
in
Yes,
Jesus'
Jesus.
name. Amen. And thank God. We love
Amen.
you
Yes.
We love
guys.
you guys. Peace and out. And Joe
Thank
and Sister Joe,
you.
just hang out here just for a quick second. All
Okay.
right. All right, here we go. We can close out.